Gaga can't handle the shit. What's up? It's the Culture Detective here, investigating your favorite albums, and today I'm going to be doing an album review on the second studio album by Death Grips, No Love Deep Web. And yes, I don't know why, but there had been construction noises on top of me since like 2 hours ago. Again, I don't want to repeat that many times, but Death Grips is an experimental hip-hop trio formed in Sacramento, California. They are known for their extremely aggressive, raw, and abrasive sound, as well as their experimental and absurd approaches to hip-hop and rock. They released a mixtape titled Ex-Military in 2011, which is a very rough and rocky album packed with amazing samples. Then in 2012, they peaked a bit with the even more aggressive and intense The Money Store, which has fiery and harsh bangers, but it's also one of the more inaccessible Death Grips albums, in my opinion. And since they know that they won't go anywhere if they continue down this raw and aggressive path, they kind of reinvented their sound on this self-released album. Self-released because of their departure from Epic Records after they released The Money Store. And that's also one of the reasons why they literally put a dick on the album cover. Yeah, Zach's dick, to be precise. Don't worry, I'm not going to put that album cover in the video, of course. I don't want to get flagged or anything. But yeah, they also canceled their tour to work on this album, and then releasing it in the same year as The Money Store. And that is incredible time management. And on this album, they sound surprisingly more experimental and absurd, and they rely more on beats and rhythms than melodies and vocals. And that's why Andy Moran plays a bigger role on this album, as well as on Government Plates. And it's also way more flashier, glitchier, catchier, edgier, and way more electronic. And by edgier, I mean it's darker in terms of the lyrics, but not as harsh in terms of the sound. Also, if you're wondering why all of a sudden I'm doing a review on Death Grips again, is because originally I wanted to do the Death Grips review series later on in the year, like right now, but because of the release of Year of the Snitch, I want to do a couple Death Grips reviews before Year of the Snitch comes out. And then now that I have relatively more subscribers, even though I don't have that many, I want to continue to do Death Grips reviews because I want people to know how fucking good Death Grips is. The album starts off with Come Up and Get Me, which is strangely the perfect opener for a self-released album because it sounds very odd and demo-y. It sounds like it could potentially be a B-side or an unreleased track from Death Grips. It has these springy and bouncy beats, and then MC Ride goes in after a few seconds, which is actually kind of rare because on the previous projects they had released, MC Ride usually occupies the spotlight almost entirely. But on this track, every member of the trio takes an equal part on the track, I believe. Fuck a Nazi! Although not as powerful as Beware or as adrenaline pumping as Get Got, I still like it. It's on point, cohesive, and solid. It almost feels like they have created this field of sound and turned it into a playground. I'm giving it a 9 out of 10. This is so distracting. Okay, anyway, the Gravy Train goes on with the second track, Little Boy, which is a total banger in my opinion. Criminally underrated. If you're new to Death Grips, this track will definitely help you enjoy the band more. At least it did it for me. I think one of the reasons why this track is just so accessible and just such a catchy banger is because of MC Ride's flow. Burn through it, bam, 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 bam. It's so fun. Again, we get these deep-pitched, digitalized beats as MC Ride throws in another new flow which fits into the beats like locks and keys, enzymes and substrates. I'm just amazed at how MC Ride has a different flow on every track here because his flow literally depends on the nature of the beat. It's like the beat and the vocals go together hand in hand. And the chorus is built up to such intensity with MC Ride going left and right. Alright, I'm back. I took a 4 or 5 hour break and I just came back home and I'm gonna do the review now. Because, in the morning, I feel tired, there are construction noises and, I'm not feeling it. Okay, anyway, oh shit, I'm feeling it right now. No love, deep web, here we go. And I just really, really love the chorus that's being built up to such intensity with MC Ride going left and right. Fear over pride. Little boy. Flush you can't hide. Little boy. Face of a woman. Little boy. Tears of a child. Little boy. And then at some point in the track, the beat just gets tired and we get these lazy, floppy woodwind sound effects that are really interesting sounding. And I also really love the flashy, speedy, descending synths of the track. It's awesome. Little Boy is awesome. I'm giving Little Boy a 9 to a 10 out of 10. Hell yeah. And then we have the first title track, No Love. Fuck yes. This track is probably the reason why I'm so into Death Grips, because it is pure chaos and destruction. It's satisfying. It's cathartic. That is the right word. I've never felt so good thinking about destroying things. And liking this song doesn't really make you edgy, but I love this track is because this track would just drive anyone insane. And Death Grips makes some of the angriest and most insane music I've ever heard. And, in fact, Death Grips music is angrier and more whack than most of the metal bands I've heard. And I guess that is the reason why their music is just so destructive and yet cathartic. I guess the main reasons why Death Grips music is way angrier than some of the metal bands out there is because you can really feel the buildup of the anger, and the release of the anger is just so satisfying, thus cathartic. Thus, I love it. The drums, they sound like warnings in the beginning, warning us not to listen to the song if we don't have the balls. Then MC Ride screams into the track, which is so raw and so primal. He screamed on top of his lungs. It's just so... I don't even know how to describe it with words. And then the synths comes in and... oh my gosh, they don't even sound like synths. Are they really synths? I can't really recognize it. Maybe they're just sampled sounds, who knows? But it's just this insane, monstrous sound that's just terrorizing the entire world. And the lyrics here, they are fantastic. Once again, they're sort of like a wordplay. You're fit to learn the proper meaning of a beatdown, madness, chaos in the brain. Let my blood flow through you, main. Damn, you got no business questioning a thing. And there are also quieter parts on the track where it's sort of like a transition between these monstrous choruses. And the music video, it's whack. It's awesome. Red and blue being separated. MC Ride doing headstands. Oh yeah. And the song is just so great to work out to. I'm giving No Love a perfect score, a 10 out of 10. Hell yeah. The fourth track is Black Dice, which sounds less aggressive, but it's still a banger because the beat is awesome. We get these dreamy and acidic synth sections on the choruses as the verses are backed with these catchy, twittery, cycling bleeps. Beep, 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 beep. And this song is about having the control of launching a nuke. And it's sort of like a Doctor Strangelove reference, which I love. And yeah, I love the track as well. And I also really like how luxurious and dreamy the keyboards actually sound on this track. It's pretty nice. It's a 9 out of 10. And then we have the fifth track titled World of Dogs. And it is a controversial sounding track because the lyrics are literally, it's all suicide, it's all suicide, it's all suicide, suicide, it's all suicide, it's a world of dogs. And yeah, the beat is insanely infectious. It's so rough. It's so industrial. I believe they sampled a motorcycle or something, and it's just cycling over and over and over again on this track. It's awesome. And there's even a moment on the track where MC Ride just abruptly stops, and all we hear are these constantly clipping drum beats, and it sounds totally fantastic. And we also have great lines like, I'm trying to survive, but I'm dying. Die with me! Reinforcing the idea of paranoia because there is nowhere where you can't be seen. I'm giving World of Dogs a 10 out of 10 once again. Really underrated track. And then the track Lock Your Doors is way more spacey and atmospheric with all the crowd samples and the echoey sound effects, as well as the blinking keys embellishments, which are really, really nice. It's like we're being transported to this very dusty, bass-boosted, noisy industrial space. I got some shit to say just for the fuck of it. And yeah, the slow delivery of his flow is one of the reasons why it feels so disturbed, and the lyrics are actually extra dark on this track. MC Ride talks about how he would execute his enemies by making them turn their backs to him as suspense rapes them, and then they are sprayed with hot cum shots. Yeah, I think it's safe to say that this track deserves a 9 out of 10. And for the next track, we have Whammy, and it starts off with these compressed, chopped up, glitching female vocals, and then a rumbly, jumpy, skippy beat. And the beat itself is pretty stiff and rigid on this track, I have to admit. However, the chorus of this thing is awesome. Whenever MC Ride says whammy at the end, we just get these random shots of synths that sound like a cute little butterfly panicking in the air because it is under threat. It is about to be killed. It's kind of scary and weird, but also very creative. But still, the track overall doesn't do quite much for me, but I still like it quite a bit. I'm giving it an 8 to a 7 out of 10. And the 8th track is titled Hunger Games. I heard it the first time in one of the videos in the Important Videos playlist, and yes, it's Death Grips. It has a very raw opening. My mood lives on that swing, same, push me harder. Then we get a series of tippy drum beats uncontrollably spamming. It almost reminds me of Chinese percussions going out of control in the beginning of some classical Cantonese opera or something. We have a couple of golden quotables on this track as well. Watch my back or I'll kill you. And you need a lift? You can sit between the backseat and my dick. I love this song. It's such a damn good banger. And I love it so much that I have to give it another 10 out of 10. Then we have the second title track, Deep Web, which is probably the weakest track on the entire record. We get these violently scratchy synths constantly fuzzing, and then MC Ride going batshit insane in the vocals. And his vocals sort of echo, but more like linger. So there are so many repetitive layers of his vocals. I love the production on the track. I love how paranoid it sounds. I love how creative it is. But it's still one of the least eventful tracks on the album. I'm feeling a 6 to a 7 on this track. I don't know why am I struggling to pronounce some of these words. Track 10 is Stockton, which has a very fun, bouncy, jumpy beat with some occasionally static noise breaks and hi-hat breaks. I'm bouncing, whoop, whoop, loud and lit. It's just a very fun banger is what it is. Nothing all that showy, nothing all that gut-punching or aggressive, and I'm giving Stockton an 8 out of 10. Similarly, another fun but also glitchy and flashy banger would be Pop. A plain set of hi-hats serve as a bed for this slowly ascending sound. I'm actually impressed at how unrecognizable some of the instruments are used for this track and for the record as a whole. Anyway, we get these occasional touch of blinking keys, and then in the chorus it's pop, 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 pop. It's really lighthearted. while in the background it's this spacey instrumental where the keys are being distorted and compressed. It sounds like a beautiful little bird tweeting. And yeah, it sounds pretty elegant for a Death Grips track actually, and I'm giving Pop an 8 out of 10 as well. And then we hit the last two tracks to end off the record. We have Bass Rattle Stars Up the Sky, and damn, I love the wide and light synths that blinks in the beginning of every verse. And for some reason, this song sounds tribal. It sounds like these tribe members are gathering in a circle, holding these long, thick wooden sticks, and are stomping them onto the ground in a synchronized manner, and they are all mumbling, "Everybody, anybody, everybody, get off." And then MC Ride is in the middle of the circle, singing, "Bury two thumb, disappear three, I run among ya. Bass rattle stars up the sky." Okay, I know I'm not the best rapper in the world, okay? Cut me some slack here. And of course, the industrial descending synths are awesome as well. Such a fun banger. What else can I say? The beat is just so damn great, and I'm giving Bass Rattle Stars Up the Sky a 9 out of 10. And at the end, we have Artificial Death in the West, which is a track that's surprisingly elegant and moody for Death Grips, especially when it's released in 2012, when The Money Store just dropped, an incredibly loud and violent album. This time we have some lonesome, cold-blooded synths that sound deserted and final. And then we get these beats that are almost trap beats, but they're a bit off, and it has this nice texture to it, which I really love. And then MC Ride just talks in a normal pitch, "Artificial death in the west, east, pyramids on deck, shine, 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 shine." Yeah, there are echoes on the thing, there are cool echoes. And yeah, the lyrical themes on the track, they are actually violently sexual. And I love how random these words feel, but when you look at the lyrics closer, they almost portray this picture of somewhere monumental and sacred, naked woman and a man who's fucked up, some oddly bright sunlight. And the syllables of this track are actually, and actually most of the lyrics on the album, they flow so damn well. It's like Shakespeare, you know, the way the lyrics are designed so that every syllable flows smoothly. And overall, I just love how hazy, gloomy, dreary, and final the track is. And the best Death Grips album ender is definitely this track. Also, MC Ride screaming, "Where are you now?" is just so lost in the wind. I love it. The song just feels so refreshing as a Death Grips song. And I love it so much. And I'm also giving it a 10 out of 10. Yeah, and overall, I am actually extremely impressed that Death Grips is able to drop 2 amazing albums in just 1 year. And I also really like that they have reinvented their sound, you know, because they're not about the linear movement. And instead of churning out these very loud, aggressive, choppy, raw tracks like the tracks on The Money Store, their approach is more flashy, more glitchy, and more electronic based on this album, and I really love it. Thus, a lot of cool beats, cool flows, a lot of bangers that are more industrial flavored. And yeah, if you want to get into Death Grips, I do not recommend you to start off with The Money Store. Start off with this album, and you will, you know, I guess, enjoy the bangers of the album. And thus, you will slowly start to fall in love with the weirder cuts that the band has put out. So, yeah, my favorite track here is the first title track, and my least favorite is the second title track. I am giving Death Grips No Love Deep Web a 9 out of 10, an 8 to a 9. Hell yeah! So, have you listened to Death Grips No Love Deep Web? From 1 to 10, how much did you rate it? Like if you like it, and subscribe if you want more. And thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the mini albums review that I will be putting out tomorrow.